I can spin that since it wasn't exactly the performance they would have wanted to be associated with Justine's legacy. Actually worked out for the best.
Nope. They'll just associate it with little old me. Already seen the chatter on social media.
Great. You're worried about social media at a time like this? Get your head in the game. I'll see you at SmackDown, and we'll take it from there.
Did you hear that pop?
What? The sound of my ankle popping or my career imploding?
Oh, how is that ankle? Or more importantly, how's that ego?
Ankle's okay. Ego? That's another story.
You really went for it out there, huh? Didn't hold back?
The WWE Universe knows I'm related to a legend, and I wanted to make my own mark, but I got carried away. Shouldn't have done that.
I've had enough coulda, woulda, shouldas to last me multiple lifetimes. It's not worth your time to live in the past. I wish I was medically cleared to fight. I would have decked Charlotte Flair for you.
What was that you just finished saying about the coulda, woulda, shouldas?
Oh, shush. One of the few perks of having a career-ending injury is getting to ask my niece to do as I say, not as I do. Since I, can't.
Right.
Listen, I don't want to leave if you need to talk, but I got word that WWE management wants to chat before we head out. Something about the buzz online, whatever that means. You okay?
If anyone taught me how to be resilient, it's you. I'm fine. I'll talk to you later.
That's my girl. I'll find you in a bit.
What was that about? I like to show off as much as the next person, but that was embarrassing.
Sorry. I understand why you're upset, but I did my best.
You grew up learning from one of the most talented WWE legends in history, and that's your best? I did a better job teaching myself in my backyard. Don't expect this to blow over with the SmackDown women's locker room. The Raw women are gonna rub this loss in our faces for a long time.
But what people forget is that for someone to win, someone else has to lose.
It is better to win, though.
Of course. Actually, speaking of winning, I have a few developments that Ruthless Digressions listeners will be thrilled to hear about.
Oh, care to share with those listeners or your co-host?
Like I told my niece at Survivor Series, patience, Robin, patience.
Hey! Welcome to SmackDown.
Thanks. You know, after what Liv said at Survivor Series, I wasn't sure if I'd be getting the warmest welcome today.
Oh, you won't be. But I have a different perspective than the rest of the girls. In fact, I'm actually usually pretty rude to the newbies because, well, I don't want them coming for my SmackDown Women's Championship. But I don't have to worry about you at all.
I'd like a championship someday, but I plan to put in the work and build myself up to that.
You're so funny! Someday, if your huge mistake at Survivor Series is any indication, I'll be in the Hall of Fame before you're even ready to think about challenging for the championship. Nothing to worry about here, so we can be friends.
I think we're done here.
LJ, welcome to SmackDown. How you doing? I'm sorry that Survivor Series didn't go so well.
Yeah, not the debut I was hoping for.
Well, you're here now, and have your whole career ahead of you. Listen, I may just be a cameraman, so I can't help train you, but I've been with WWE long enough that I pride myself on knowing how things work around here. Happy to answer any questions you might have.
How do I get a match?
Well, you'll want to talk to Molly first so she can let you know what management has in mind for you. But generally, I've found that matches in WWE, whether they come from management or not, get booked in one of two ways: talking to people or checking your social media messages.
What do you mean, talking to people?
I mean just that. Aside from being booked by management, you'll find that chatting with other superstars, the crew, or even other backstage visitors can lead to opportunities. Sometimes people might have favors to ask of you, others might have bones to pick. You know how they say it's who you know? That's definitely true in WWE. Who you know and who you talk to.
Huh, seems so easy.
It is. Don't try to put too much on your plate, though. You can always tell somebody who wants a favor no and come back to it later, or diffuse a tense situation. But once you agree to something, you'll need to see it through.
I understand. So take it one thing at a time. Makes sense. And the other way to get matches? You mentioned social media. I'm gathering I shouldn't try to go on a social media hiatus while I'm a WWE superstar?
Definitely not. Even a dinosaur like me relies on that instrument of the devil. If you don't check your social media, both the public feed and your direct messages, you might miss out on opportunities. Not everything there will lead to a match, but it's worth keeping up with what the WWE Universe is up to.
Okay, so check my social media feed and direct messages. Got it.
Any other questions? Or anything you'd like me to explain again?
How do I improve my skills around here?
It's just like the old saying goes, practice makes perfect. The more matches and experience you have in WWE, the better. From there, it's usually up to you to determine how you want to apply what you've learned, whether it's improving your strength, getting better at submissions, or putting more power behind your punches. You get the idea.
You said it's usually up to me what I want to improve?
Sure is. Occasionally, you'll find that certain kinds of matches will benefit you in a more specific sort of way. But if that's the case, you'll know that going in. Sports entertainer insight, I call it.
Okay, cool.
Any other questions? Or anything you'd like me to explain again?
What would you recommend in catering?
Honestly, the tofu. Even if you eat meat, give it a try. The seasoning is incredible.
Noted.
Any other questions? Or anything you'd like me to explain again?
Thanks, Tom. I think I have the info I need.
Fantastic. Good luck tonight, LJ. I'm certain I'll see you around soon.
So, I know I didn't exactly get the best start, but I've got my head on straight now and I'm ready to go.
That's great to hear.
What do you have for me tonight?
Now, here's something that's less great to hear. WWE management thinks that after everything that's happened, we should take a beat before we put the spotlight back on you.
Don't worry, I'm not going to make the same mistake twice. But I need to redeem myself and show the WWE Universe what I can really do. I need at least a little spotlight.
I think you might have to settle for no spotlight. Backstage sentiment on you is not good right now. You may be a SmackDown superstar, but you've got an uphill battle if you actually want to be on the show.
So my match tonight is...
Non-existent.
What can I do? I don't want to just sit in catering.
No one does. But this will all blow over. My advice until then, find some way to make an impact. Be so good in the ring that they can't deny you.
How am I supposed to do that if I can't get a match?
I said I couldn't get you a match on SmackDown. There are other opportunities to wrestle. Actually, I can pull some strings and get you on main event. You'll need to find an opponent, though. Most of the roster is pretty busy with commitments on SmackDown, and I don't have time to play matchmaker.
Pretty busy or pretty mad at me, from the sound of it.
Yeah, I may have heard those rumblings. Although, have you met Ava Moreno yet? She's pretty new to SmackDown too, and also would have something to gain with a good showing on main event.
We've met. I'm not sure she wants to work with me.
Neither of you have to work with anyone. You just have to show up and fight each other. Get her to agree to that, and I'll set up the match. If there's some sort of beef between you two, lean into it. No one said the match had to be friendly.
Well, if it isn't little Justine, I would say I'm sorry how your big debut turned out, but I don't like to lie. What do you want?
Let's cut to the chase. I want a match on main event.
Molly said she can get me one if I find an opponent.
It sounds like getting that exposure could help both of us. Are you interested?
Sure.
Great. That was actually easier than I thought.
Oh, but let me be clear. I want a match on main event, but not one against you. I want to make an impact here in WWE and make my matches count. It doesn't help me at all to defeat some jobber.
What did you just call me?
If I wasn't perfectly clear at Survivor Series, I like people who've come up the right way and paid their dues. Not nieces who get handed special treatment because of what family they're a part of. And if that wasn't enough, I certainly don't like you after you proved me right and made a mess of things.
Regardless of what you think of me, I don't see how just sitting around and complaining is going to change anything.
I know as well as you do that no one else in the locker room is going to help you. You want a match with me? Prove that you have what it takes when you have to work for an opportunity. Pay some dues and stop waltzing around expecting special treatment.
I don't waltz.
We can agree to disagree, LJ.